Nike doesn't give me a whole lot of hope considering what was just revealed in the Philly City Connect uniforms revealed by the Philadelphia Phillies this week. I didn't get your thoughts. I'm not sure how much you cared for these or not. I think they were okay at best. I think you've got the full description there. I'll describe them quickly. They start with the cap. It's a Liberty Bell with a cityscape of Philadelphia kind of built into it. Cracked Liberty Bell. Pretty much the cliche logo of anything from Philadelphia. They
Yes.
do have the two stars on each side of the bell, which it's a cool thing for designers at least. Their word mark on the chest of their jerseys for years, the two eyes in Phillies have always had a star over each of those, which is a cool just graphic thing. So they've mimicked that in the hat logo for the City Connect hat at least. It's fine. I just think that the Liberty Bell is so cliche for everything Philadelphia.
I I mean,
The uniforms. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I might buy a hat just to support Philly's best here in Chicago with their delicious
Yeah,
cheesesteak,
that's the
and
first thing I thought of. Is
it's their logo.
Yeah, first thing I thought of. Yeah, Philly's best logo, famous cheesesteak stand in Chicago. Yeah, best Philly cheesesteaks I've ever had. I've never been to Philadelphia to have what is it, Pat's and Joe's or whatever
Yeah,
Pat's and whatever
Geno's,
the other one is. But
Geno's.
I did have a friend in Chicago. You actually know him, Derek from what's his band name? You met him one time. You were telling me about it. He lived in Philadelphia. What's his band name? It's like Statutes to Liberty.
Oh, yeah,
I think you guys played with him once, the
yeah.
telepaths, but he lived in Philadelphia for a couple of years, and he said that Philly's best is like the closest to a real cheesesteak that you could ever find. So I take his word, and they're fucking great. So the jerseys though are a gradient from a light blue into a dark blue, which I this is again my nerdy graphic designers talk. I've never liked gradients in any kind of graphic design. I think it's really a cheap gag almost. It's kind of a cop out. It's a very 90s, 80s or 90s thing. I feel like when I see gradients, it's like a graphic designer doesn't really know what they're doing, but maybe that's just me. It has a lot of yellow accents, which those colors are all present in the city of Philadelphia flag, which I did not realize. I guess people outside of Philly probably wouldn't know that, although like in Chicago, the Chicago flag is very famous, but maybe that's just for Chicagoans. You all know that everyone in Chicago knows there's a white flag with two light blue bars and four red stars, six-pointed stars in the middle. It's an iconic flag. So maybe Philadelphia's flag is just as iconic. I don't know. They've got the dark pants again, which that was one of my biggest pet peeves of the last 2 years, actually, of City Connect uniforms. The dark pants, I just think it just looks bad. It doesn't look like a baseball uniform to me. If they had a dark jersey and white pants, I think that would always be better. But again, that's just me. I think you've got all the details there. There's all sorts of symbolism and ridiculous meaning they
Yes,
pull into these that we like to mock. So I think you've got the official explanation from the Phillies.
I do. I'm gonna start by, schooling you on your hate for the gradient. The light to dark shift, Smitty, celebrates Philly's spirit of revolution, a city unafraid to rise up and fight. So there you go. You're mocking that,
That's
and
symbol.
it symbolizes their fight, their rise up to fight.
Is is that what you saw when you first saw the gradient
No, I
revolution?
was like, why does this look like one of my kids' travel baseball uniforms who's 13? That's what I
Okay,
thought.
yeah,
The lettering, they use this like script. Our
it's kind
script,
of like a calligraphy almost.
yes,
Yeah,
and it is. Our script is reminiscent of our country's founding documents that features a pattern symbolizing the crack of the Liberty Bell. Dun, dun,
they got me on
dun.
this. I didn't notice that right away, but yes, the Philly written across the chest is in a calligraphy font that looks like when you see "We the People" or
Yes,
the document Declaration or the Constitution. It does look like that, and I think that's kind of cool. I would not, even as a someone that pays attention to typography closely, I did not pick up on that immediately, but I like that idea. The pattern they're referring to, it's like a zigzag pattern within the word mark itself. I think that's what they're saying is the crack of the Liberty Bell.
Okay.
That
Hard to
is
see on
wow.
what I'm
That
looking at. Yeah.
yeah, that is reading way into way into things. So okay,
And that's the
that's
usual
fine.
when we go through these things. There's always you're like,
Yes.
what? Well, one of the things is the blue. The reason the collar is blue is literally because it's a blue collar city. So
Okay, I have a question.
yeah,
Is there a non-blue collar city in Major League Baseball? Because I feel like every team has brought up blue collar somehow.
yeah.
I think it's hilarious. Like somehow that's a badge of honor. Blue
I
collar.
mean, the
We're
Cubs
blue collar. Fuck you.
the Sox collar could be blue collar. The Cubs collar would have to be white collar. But that's the
Okay,
north
yeah,
side
maybe
to
the
south
Cubs are
side
white collar.
discrepancy that's been argued over the years. I think it's whatever. But like that's one of the differentiators. Like when there's
Yeah,
an
I
argument of
think
the sides of the city. But
I get that, but the fact that every city thinks they are the blue collar city is funny. I fear that the Tigers are going to play into blue collar somehow as well. It's just such a cliche and boring and
yeah, I agree.
silly.
And then the last thing that we need to cover is our heart on our sleeve. The sleeve patch, there's a sleeve patch that is the Liberty Bell that spells out love.
Yeah,
Somehow
there's a
we're supposed to,
famous statue.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a famous statue in Philadelphia, the Love statue, which is spelled it's L and a sideways. Maybe it's a heart, but I think it's a angled O stacked on top of a V E. It's you'd recognize it if you saw it, but they're kind of mimicking that in that patch. But hard hard on our sleeve, man. That
yeah.
okay, I get it.
Yeah, the city patch features City of Brotherly Love with the iconic Liberty Bell, a nod to the notable love sculpture, as you were saying, located in the heart of the city. I don't know how you get to O with the Liberty Bell.
Yeah,
It took me a second.
it's easy to just re. Yeah, wait, did you think it was live
I didn't know. I was
or
like, what is it? Oh, it's love. Okay.
Yeah. I think if you were more familiar with the statue they're referring to or Philadelphia, I mean, this is made for Philadelphians, obviously, it would make more sense. But again, with all these, they make sense. They're trying to go for a non-traditional baseball crowd. They're trying to draw interest into the game. They're trying to sell merchandise to people that haven't bought merchandise before, but they're trying to draw a different crowd. They're certainly marketing towards Philadelphians and not to middle-aged white dudes like you and me
In the
in the
Midwest? Why?
Midwest.
What?
Yeah. No, we're never gonna quite get these, but so I think we've had similar reviews to others, but I as much as I've been bagging on it, I don't think they're horrific by any means, so I'm not gonna give them 2 middle fingers down. I guess the halfway is 1 middle finger up and 1 middle finger down is how I'm gonna do it. I don't know how you thought.
I am voting the same exact way. One up,
Okay.
one down.
Yeah. Well, we have there's going to be like 8 more, 9 more this season, actually before the All-Star break to be revealed. So, the Tigers are coming up in May. I think we're going to see shit. I did just see there was another one coming out in like 2 weeks. So, we're going to have another aesthetic segment whether you want one or not.
Word Hole Media.